Hi, this is Zach Dobson. Welcome to our next Friday photo tip. The next 2 weeks we're going to be doing a series about how to edit photos on your phone. So this week's going to be more about the basic exposure adjustments, contrast, shadows, highlights, cropping, just real simple stuff. We all use our phones a lot to take pictures. I do as well. So there's lots of small things you can do to really make your pictures a lot better.
First up this week are basic tone adjustments. I'm going to use this photo from the marathon. This is it, unedited, right out of the camera. The first thing I like to do is try the exposure. Overall, this feels a little bit dark, but the problem here with the exposure is you'll notice the brightest parts, called the highlights, get really too bright, and you lose that detail, like in the edge of his face there. So, I'll take that out and go to the shadows here. That's the next thing I'll try when brightening up a photo a bit. You can see it starts to work pretty well. You can see more detail in his face, and it's only pulling out, the midtones, the shadows, and leaving those highlights the same. You can also see the highlights here, what it looks like if you bring them down a little bit. I almost never raise the highlights. I'm almost always bringing them down so it doesn't get too bright. This one doesn't really need any of that highlight adjustment. The contrast is the next thing. I like a little more contrast in an image. This is it, with and without the contrast. And you just watch the darkest and the brightest spots to make sure that they don't get too extreme, as you'll see if you really take it to the far end of things, which way it'll go. Sometimes it can be helpful to bring a little bit out, but then you'll notice it starts to get flat. So I like to just add a little bit here. And then I am happy with that there, and that's where I'll leave it. Now I'm going to talk about cropping an image. So go into Edit and the Crop tool. What I like to do is look at the aspect ratio. When you're shooting on your phone, 4:3 is what your phone shoots. So my personal preference is a 3:2 because that's what 35 millimeter is. So I notice right away if it's not in a 3:2 ratio, but that's really a personal preference. When I post on Instagram, I do like to use the square when I can because it lets you use the full canvas that Instagram gives you, and then your picture shows up a little bit bigger, which I like. It doesn't work for every image, but this one it works pretty well for. The other thing is we're going to look at vertical crop. The problem with 3:2 and vertical is Instagram cuts off a lot of it. You can't post in this 3:2. So what they give you for vertical is a 4:5 or 8:10, same thing. So if you're cropping a vertical for Instagram, put it in that 8:10 or 4:5, and that'll let you see it exactly how it's going to appear, which is a lot more helpful than trying to crop it within Instagram. So those are the basic, cropping tips for you there, and hope that helps.
Thanks for stopping by for this week's Friday photo tip. Hopefully this will help get you started on editing your photos a bit within your phone. Next week we're going to have some more advanced techniques. Try these techniques out. Hashtag ZDP Photo Challenge. I'll check out the images, leave comments, share them in stories. Tag a friend, like, share, all that good stuff. So thanks for stopping by, and keep it real.